So we are going to attempt this. It's been a while since I have made a video, and mostly because we moved into our new house. We've been doing a lot of stuff. I got a new desk. That's the old desk going away. I will put up a picture of the new desk. We got it built in. Had a friend of mine. If you are near Jacksonville, Florida, or Northeast Florida, check out 210 Woodworks. They are definitely a good company that I've worked with. And they customize this built in for me. It is a great work area since I do work at home and I do fix computers and laptops and other things like that. But very customized area. I have a 12-foot span of a working area that I needed a desk to replace that thing. And I needed to get some shelving put in. And so everywhere that I was looking, just it wasn't feasible. It wasn't workable, and especially the price. So for the price that I got this, I was actually, very happy with the price. Took a little while to get it done because, I wasn't in a rush to make it happen, but getting all the materials together, customizing the specs. I mean, everything is built custom. So what I needed wasn't just like an off-the-shelf kind of thing, especially being 12 feet wide. So it was definitely some work that had to be done to make sure that everything was put up right, secured to the wall, so that as soon as I put something on, it doesn't fall back down. What we're doing today is I have my Galaxy Tab A, and I use it for a lot. I use it for church. I use it for working on things, Googling, working on different projects. I've had it for probably like 2 years, and I've noticed that it's taking longer and longer for the battery to die. So we're going to pop this sucker open, change out the battery on the Galaxy Tab A, and so this is how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pop this tablet open, and we're just going to use these little tools. I'll post a link. I got this on Amazon along with the battery, so it should just take a few minutes. We're just going to basically fight our way into this tablet. I like to start in the corners with tablets because it's kind of a weak point, unfortunately, just kind of the way it is. And see if we can't get in there to pop one of these loose. And sometimes you have to use different tools. I don't want to use metal tools because using metal tools you can end up breaking stuff. But sometimes you can get in there with plastic ones to to kind of pop things loose as you work your way around. And so I know you can see that. You can kind of see the screen coming apart. I actually had to do this recently. My older brother, somehow, he had a iPad Pro and kept it plugged in pretty much 24/7 for like a year and a half because he watched it all the time. And the battery ended up expanding and kind of blowing up. But what it did was it cracked the screen because it bubbled out. So we don't want to have that happen here because these batteries are old, and that's what batteries do when they fail. They start to expand, or they blow up, or they catch on fire, or they have other crazy issues. And so we are just going to come in and just kind of work our way around this tablet. You can kind of see my little plastic tools, or cheap plastic tools, falling apart. You gotta be careful. You don't want to break the plastic, because if you break the plastic, that's a whole nother video of replacing tablet-y stuff. And if you're having to replace your case, I mean, you've obviously done a lot of damage, like the actual case, not like an OtterBox case or something like that. But if you're having to, replace the actual case of your tablet, probably not a good thing. All right, so the case is off. That's what the inside looks like. That's the battery that we want to take out. So it looks like we have we have a few ribbon cables to take off and some really tiny screws to pull out. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we have to remove these cables. So we have one for the LCD. We have another rhythm cable here. Looks like it connects the buttons to the actual motherboard, and then we have the actual battery connection right here. So the one important thing that you want to make sure that the tablet is off. You know, you can push the button or whatever. You don't want to be sending voltage from your battery to your motherboard. So we're going to do that. So we're going to start by pulling off the tape. And the tape is just there really to, because these are such small wires, they're just there to make sure that, you know, these cables don't just pop out randomly while you're, you know, owning your tablet. So the tape also protects smaller components, smaller solder points, or anodes, you know, little things that other pieces are soldered to, so they don't get damaged or so they don't come in contact with anything and end up like sparking or arcing or melting the plastic backing of your tablet. So depending on how your tablets are made, if they're like computers, sometimes the pieces are held in by something. Sometimes there's a little tab that you can just pull on to move cables out of the way. So all I'm doing is just taking the little piece of tape off, just to make sure that, you know, I can wiggle things out of the way. Sometimes that's all it takes, just a little wiggle. You can get it off and open, not have anything to worry about. And then, so it looks like this particular one. So for my tablet, the Galaxy Tab A, it looks like there's some extra screws that I was not expecting to show up. So my particular tablet has a bunch of little mounting screws, and it looks like it's just basically holding in a bracket that is holding down my battery. If you need to, you can always put these in, you know, on a plate or a plastic bag, something magnetic. Harbor Freight makes these interesting little trays, usually for like $1 or $2. You can get them, and they're just little magnetic trays, so you don't have to worry about losing your little tiny screws that are. And that allows me to pull my battery out. Sometimes there is stickum on the back to get your battery to, you know, to stay adhesive or, you know, adhered to the system, you know, the motherboard, so it doesn't move around inside the case. In this case, it's not. So here, what we're doing, we're taking out the battery. Oh, and did you see that? There's still some sort of power going to my board from the battery. So when I touched it, it sparked. So hopefully when I'm done, hopefully my tablet will still work and that little tiny spark didn't just kill it. All right, so here is the new battery, and I picked this up on Amazon. Got it a couple days ago. And like I said, you know, just the current battery was kind of slacking for some reason. So I just picked up a new one. The connector looks the same. This is not a Samsung product. It's made by somebody else, made by Sneer, it looks like. Can't really, it's not focusing for some reason. I'll throw it up on this one. Sneer. But it looks like the casing is the same, and it looks pretty much like everything else is the same. So we're going to take this one, put it back in, and and it fits. Looks like it fits everything. So we are going to reconnect our cabling. Sometimes these little things flip up. Just depends on who made things. Looks like that one doesn't. So we're just going to take this and push it in. It out. We're just going to wiggle it back in, just real gentle. You don't want to bend it, don't want to break it, don't want to end up messing up the ends or anything like that. Sometimes there's a line you can kind of see on the actual cable itself, so you kind of know where it goes, how to adjust my light. So we're going to take this ribbon cable. That one seems snug. All these seem snug. And pop that open. And we're going to plug in the power. Now this battery may or may not have come with some type of charge. I don't know if it did or not. But once we get everything looks all snugged up. I'm going to put a screw or two in just to make sure the battery's held down, because I'm going to flip this over and try the power button, and I don't want the battery to fall out. So I'm just putting 2 screws in, and we're going to flip it over. The battery should stay in, good. And let's see if the power's on, hopefully. There you go. So now I will take this, I will put it back together, I will charge it up, and hopefully I can get several more years out of this tablet rather than just throwing away like most people do when something stops working. So we're going to put this back together, same 10 screws. And if you just heard that, my tablet just connected to my Wi-Fi because it is on. And it just updated everything. So all of everything updated. As far as that goes, it shows this battery came with 63% of a charge. So let's put this thing back together, get back to work. Take your case. If you find dirt and dust in there, now might be a good time to clean it out. Sometimes, even though these things are pretty well sealed, sometimes there's just a little bit of dirt in there. So if you have like a can of compressed air or like a nearby, vacuum cleaner or something, whatever, you can suck it out. So we're just going to look. We're going to verify that everything's tight. All the connections look like they're tight, like they were before. Everything is down. We're going to take our piece of tape and stick it back over the items that were taped over before, because we don't want those connections to go through. You saw when I moved it earlier, it just came off. One of the cables pulled right out. So that tells me that during normal use, I would hate for my power button to stop working, my LCD to stop working, and then have to rip this thing apart again just to figure out that I forgot to put something back on there that is just meant to secure a cable. So those 4 are taped back down. We're going to wipe off our camera, blow off our lens, put our tablet back together. You may hear some popping or what might sound like cracking because you got to get them to, the tablets to seat back the way that they were before. Once everything is seated and everybody is happy, if you took out an SD card, like I did earlier, I actually forgot to take it out, and then when I got to this spot, when I was pulling off the case, my SD card shot out and shot across the room. So if you have an SD card, make sure that you pull it out before you pull your case off. All right, so that is it. Galaxy Tab A, battery was replaced, because it was dying. It was just taking way too long to charge. So that's how to replace your battery in your Galaxy Tab A in about 10 minutes. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, and share.